So with Noble Legacy's next update on the horizon, I thought it'd be cool to do a beginner's survival guide to Noble Legacy. Whether you're new at the game, returning, or even an advanced player, you're gonna get a good idea as to how I would approach and start a Noble Legacy run. And maybe this will give you some good insight on how you'd like to start your own playthrough. And if you do enjoy this and would like to see some more Noble Legacy after, make sure to pay that king's tax of 1 like or 1 sub or membership, and I'll leave a link at the end of the video to a playlist of my Noble Legacy streams here on YouTube. So when you first start a new game, you're gonna have an option to edit or create a new character. And it might be in this bottom right corner, it might be when you start a new game. I've already made my character here, but essentially you'll have the option of being male or female, and you'll have a host of different types of options from hairstyles, beards, mustaches, face changes, eye color, apparel, etc. And there should be a fair amount of customization that'll get you started here. But I'm gonna keep the character that I have currently that I've been running around with for a while. And we're just gonna jump into a new game. If this is your very first run, I would highly recommend doing the tutorial. This is going to be like the main game mode of Noble Legacy in the future. And as you progress and finish these tutorials, you're going to unlock new maps that will give you some rewards, like some more character cosmetics. None of these are, I believe, out yet, but you're at least going to have an idea as to what's coming soon. Now, if you have played a new game, maybe you'll want to do New Kingdom. This is kind of just the free building sandbox mode on the same map. But for this run, we're going to be doing the tutorial. I don't mind having to fix up the church and some of the other buildings. And it'll also be nice because we're going to start out with a couple villagers. All right, we are in the game, and our first step is to go to Greenwood Farm. So we're gonna go to Greenwood Farm. Now, some basic controls here. If you go up to like a tree or berry bushes or specific rocks, you can just go up to them and press E and chop them down. You will have all of the tools that you require at the start for now. This may change in the future, as they've done with building most recently, and just deplete it completely. I think wood's gonna be the first thing we need. I think this is some granite. So if you want to grab some granite here, you could also pick up some granite. And there might even be some berries around. Well, let's go up to this sign first. Let's go to this waypoint first.
This place seems a bit run down. I wonder what befell these people.
Let us find out.
All right, we are in Greenwood Farm. Are any of these berries? I don't think these are berries. You'll usually see some black berries. Yeah, I think these are definitely berries. So berry bushes are the same. You just walk up to it and you can harvest it. And we got some berries. All right, perfect. Now, one cool function in this game, which we'll probably show off more once we start building, but if you press P, you actually will have like a top-down view of the game, kind of like those isometric management games like Manning Lords and such. And you'll actually be able to build from the top down right here. Now, for the sake of the tutorial, we are in this area. If you start with a sandbox, there will be no buildings around, but you can actually fly around and you'll notice a bunch of nodes like fish. You'll find clay, you'll find meat. So that's gonna be like deer. You're gonna find iron. You'll find a whole lot of resources. But where you'll find like abundance of resources are other places you could build in the future. Like if you end up not playing the tutorial and you don't want to build in this specific area, you could start in a new kingdom and you'll be on the same map, but you can choose to move in other locations. Like I'd highly recommend going into places where there is fish. So that area could be good. I see lots of nodes to the north over here. I'm pretty sure there are fish over here. So if you like fishing, 5 fishing spots. All right, if you like fishing, maybe this is the location you'd want to build in. And it looks pretty cool, actually. This is a decent little lake you could build on. But yeah, fly around the map using this mode and kind of take a look around and see what you like. Especially if you like building, you may want to build in a different area. But then if you want to go back to third person mode, just press P again and you'll go back to the character view. And now we're back in Greenwood Farm. So let's go talk to Alma. Seems like Alma's got something to say to us here. Greetings, Alma. And then talk to her, just go to the left part of the dial.
Hello, traveller. Welcome to Greenwood Farm. Our larder is a bit meagre these days, but you're welcome to a warm fire and some mushroom stew if you need a rest.
Do you know not who you address, woman? This is the rightful lord of this land, and he owns this farm and everything within it.
Calm yourself, Edward.
Calm yourself, Edward. You are most generous to offer such hospitality. Might I offer to help in return?
Yes, my lord. Thank you, my
Be
lord.
careful where you swing that pick,
This
man.
place has everything it needs to succeed. Fertile ground, plenty of trees, good clean water, with fish and game for hunting. Why do these people struggle so?
These people are but poor farmers and have been without their lord for so long they have become aimless. A firm hand is needed to guide them.
Next, we just have to talk to Thomas, and I think we're gonna set him up in the forager. Greetings, Thomas.
Oh, my lord, your presence honors us. How can I be of assistance?
Good day, man. This place seems to lack the proper amount of food. Do you not have someone foraging?
We lost our last forager to the winter.
What is Edward doing?
Been surviving on scraps since then we have. I am trying to make more shelter, but swinging an axe all day almost put me out of commission.
I have a proposition for you. My uncle and I will continue the logging in your stead if you agree to turn your attention to foraging.
That would be a great exchange, and easier on the old back now. I shall do as you wish.
So Thomas wants to become a forager. If we press K, we can go into our building tab right here, and you'll find all the buildings that we have. So we got 3 houses, a woodcutter, fishery, forager, a church, and a building lodge. Some of these buildings are not complete, so we'll not be able to use them just yet, like the woodcutter, fishery, and church. But in time, we will fix them up. But first off, we got 5 villagers that are able to work. We're gonna throw Thomas in the forager.
Great display of strength, my lord.
I'm
Surely
sure
you
I'll
have
see
enough
you
lumber
again.
now.
And if you exit your building mode and then go back in, click on the forager, you'll see you're getting 2 berries and mushrooms per minute. You'll be getting some resources automatically. You don't actually have to set up specifically how your villagers gather. You just set them into the building and they'll do the things themselves. Now they do have a storage building inside the foraging hut where berries will go, but eventually we'll have to build a storage house. But first we're gonna have to work on this woodcutter here. So this woodcutter is only a woodcutter until we add the woodcutting crafting station on. We have, it looks like, a log pile here and a little lamp if we want to turn that on if it gets dark. But let's add a woodcutting station. Press F and go to all items, and in production there is a woodcutting bench that we can add here. And I'm just gonna add this like this.
Settlement will need more lumber and planks. One of these villagers should be able to take over from here.
That stout lad of theirs looks like he has some strength. He would make a good woodcutter.
Who, Fred? I guess we're gonna add Fred as the lumberjack. So with that piece added, you notice our decoration score is 20 out of 40 and structure score is 51 out of 13. So the structure's good. The decoration score will need to be improved a little bit if we want to upgrade our woodcutter 1 to woodcutting 2. That'll allow us to have more villagers working and ultimately gather more logs and planks and stuff like that. But for now, we're just gonna add Fred. So go to woodcutter and left click and drag Fred into the lumberjack position.
But some additional furnishings could do a lot for our woodcutters' morale.
We're gonna need to refine lumber into planks, as well as improve the woodcutter's decoration score. So let's first get these planks because we might need some planks for the decorations we're gonna add. So just walk up to the crafting station, press E, and over time you'll get a couple planks. I think 5 planks per log. And I'm gonna get a little bit extra. I might go up to like 50 planks. We only need to get 20, but we are gonna need more, guaranteed. And you also notice we're getting kindling. We're gonna be using kindling to keep our villagers warm. That's gonna be like our firewood. But we have 50 wood planks now, and we need to add some more to the decoration score. So open up your crafting menu again and go down to decoration. And if we scroll right here, we have a woodcutting shelf. This will give us, I think, 10 points exactly, which is part of what we need here. So let's just throw a... So let's put that down.
Looks like I have some leftover kindling from the logging process.
Now that was all we needed to do for the quest. But I think if you noticed, if we look at the woodcutter again, if we go to K, go to buildings and you go to woodcutter, we're missing 10 points to upgrade our woodcutting hut, as well as probably some coin. But once we upgrade it, we'll actually get another lumberjack and I believe another sawyer slot, which will allow you to get double the resources. As you can see, Fred is gathering 4.2 lumber per minute now, which is going to be really nice. He's going to place them all in this log pile here. We in fact already have 23 and some kindling. So let's take all of that and help the villager get some more warmth, I guess. But this is how you're gonna keep your villagers happy. You have like a little hearth in the buildings. as well as a bed. Just like basic furnishings, basic happiness. And just press E to add some fuel.
Care of, you best select a sawyer to continue producing planks and kindling so they can take care of themselves.
Aye. We need a sawyer next. So if you press K and we go back into the woodcutter, we're gonna add somebody as a sawyer. Let's add Ulrich.
If I even have to smell another berry bush, I'm going to be sick.
But we're gonna build a storage building. So basically anybody that's gonna get like berries, planks, lumber, all that type of stuff, fish, they are going to place it in a storage building with the help of a porter. So that's what we're working on next. So we need to add some foundations.
Well done, my lord.
And add a market ledger. And this is also going to be in services. I'm going to place it right here. And I'm also going to place a market storage. And that's going to be these boxes right here. This will be basically your storage chest where you're going to gather everything from. And I'm just going to throw it in the corner.
It looks all right. We might need to add some more structure to consider it complete.
Now we're going to need plenty of structure here. As you can see, we're missing 0 out of 24 in terms of structure, 10 out of 20 for decorations. So we need to add both of those things. Let's check the log pile and see if there's some more lumber. We'll grab the lumber and the planks. This will take the kindling too, since we have room in our inventory here. And we're gonna need to add some more walls and such. So I'm gonna have a door right in the middle here. I'll put some stairs. I'll put a door. I might even put a door in the back, so we have 2 different ways to get in here. It might be a little cramped, but I think we can manage. Yeah, we can manage. And then we'll add some windows. And you can build this however you want. By the time you finish it, you'll probably have more than enough structure score. So I'll add those 2 windows. On the quick menu here, I'll add 2 walls. I'll add the thatch gable as the rooftop. And then if we go back into all items, there should be some wood gable triangle walls that we can add into the corners. And now we got to build this thing. So basically we're just going to click on all of the building pieces and it's going to slowly build it. So if we click E, it's just going to have like the frames on it, and we need to go piece by piece and start building. Now this is a new function, a relatively new function in the game. It used to just automatically add the piece, but with the addition of the new laborer job, there will be villagers that will actually help you build. But just for now, piece by piece, build up each piece of the frame until you're complete. I think with that, we have our storehouse complete. Yep, a whole building. That's kind of dark in here. I'm gonna add maybe a light. So if we go down to decorations, there should be a light option here. Lamp post, I think that's relatively new. I'm gonna throw down a lamp on this, turn it on, a little bit brighter in here. If you want to add some candles, you could add like a candle. Like here and there, and then you may not necessarily need this light, but I'm gonna leave this on. And we can also add some lights to the front, maybe a torch on both sides, one over here and one on this door. All right, so I think this building is good for now. We need to assign a porter to the storehouse now, though. So what the porter is going to do is just go to each of the buildings and pick up the resources and move them into those boxes in that building. So then anything that the villagers need, they can just go to the storehouse and get it. So let's add Bertha as our porter. And now we need to gather some berries. I think we just pull them out of the forager. I assume the forager has all of the berries now. And this will be like the basic food our villagers are eating at the start. So we got 49 berries. Control right click to pull all of them out, and then go back to the market storage and throw them in the boxes here. Same button to put them in. But now we have a storehouse. We want to sell those berries like Edward was talking about. That was the whole point of us putting them there. So we're gonna add a market stall. In services, we got a farming stall, and I'm just gonna put it in this empty spot, like right here.
The first villager we spoke to seemed jovial enough. Perhaps she should run the market stall.
All right, I guess we're gonna add Alma to the market stall. That's cool. So press K again. We're gonna go to the storehouse. This is where you set up your villager, and we're just gonna throw in Alma as the merchant. And now if we wanted to actually start selling berries, we have to edit it from here. We can change these buttons. If you click these, this will determine how much you'll buy, or rather how much you'll sell. And this will bring villagers into the town, visitors that will come and buy items.
While we wait for the coin to flow in, perhaps we should see to the jetty. With fish on the menu, we could entice even more visitors to our settlement.
I do like that idea, adding some fish. But before we get to the fish, let's make it so we keep maybe about 15 berries. Once we have 15 berries in the storehouse left, they will stop selling berries. So we'll be able to sell, what, 33 berries before we hit 15? And then we can start setting up the fishery. The fishery now, unless they changed it, the fishery is really good in terms of gathering food.
Did you hear that? These peasants' problems never seem to end. Best keep your eye on them.
A dynamic
problems
quest.
that need your attention.
Somebody's got a quest for us? Bertha. What's going on, Bertha? So this is a dynamic quest. Randomly, villagers will have something that they need you to do. And this can help the villagers or hurt them depending on how you do. So let's talk to her and see what she wants. My lord, something happened. It will need your attention.
No news is good news, I reckon.
A monk came into town last evening. He made quite a mess in the church drinking the communion wine. He's passed out somewhere in town. What must be done? Well, considering we have no coins,
It's not much, but it is enough.
we can't pay an acolyte to handle it. We could leave it to God, which is a 50% chance that we'll get something good, or a 50% chance something bad will happen, as well as losing some coin. Or we can just take on the challenge, which I think will be pretty easy. We'll also get some morale for the villagers, as well as some wine. So we need to check on the monk, as well as clean up the mess the monk left in the church. So go into the church, and you'll find these little wine bottles. The quest items have like this smokiness texture to them. That'll probably be the easiest way to notice them. And let's just pick up all of the bottles that he was laying around. And then we gotta find the monk who's passed out in the storehouse. You're in our storehouse? Godfrey, you stink. Bro, you can't be stinking up the storehouse that I just built. My lord, thank you for finding me. We'll be seeing around. I hope not. Get out of here. There are a handful of events that you can do that will give you some bonuses. Or some negatives, depending on if you fail. But most of them are pretty easy. The chicken one might be a little bit of a challenge. But for the most part, they're relatively easy to handle. I think we already have a jetty, but we don't have a fishing rack. So let's add a fishing rack. Wherever you want, it can be inside or outside the building. We'll put it inside. And we still need one more decoration score. So let's add, I don't know, another light. Lights are pretty standard for decoration points.
Now to see if this lake can deliver anything edible.
I believe it. Equip fishing rod, that's in our 4th spot. And we're gonna start fishing. Now we will be getting a fishing game relatively soon, but for now it's just as simple as pressing E and casting. Don't press E again or it'll cancel it. But just let the second bar fill up, and we caught ourselves a fish.
Well, we have a fishery, but I have better things to do with my time than stand around with a line and a net all day. We should see
All
if
you
we
do
can
is stand
convince
around.
these poor souls to move to our village and help catch fish.
So that essentially means we need to build a prefab. So to build a prefab, we're gonna go to building and all items. And at this tab up here, there are prefabs. Now I have a handful of prefabs I've downloaded. If you go to the Steam workshop, you can actually download other people's buildings that they have built and use them. For example, I have a handful of things downloaded from, I think, Spong and Rose. They have some really cool looking builds. And you can see like it has all the resources, it tells you the structure and the decoration quality. Some of these are pretty big buildings, so they will take a lot. But we're just gonna do like a basic small house here. This is one that's just in the game as is. That's probably the one that you're gonna see. Now I will use this P mode so you can kind of see how you set things up in this mode. If you want to add a house or a prefab through this mode, still go through the same ways, like all buildings and prefabs, and then you can add buildings this way. So if you place down, then hold left click, you can kind of like get the correct spot that you want to place, and then when you let go,
I'll assign someone to
the building will be added.
provided our storehouses are stocked.
But yeah, let's assign a villager to the builder's lodge.
A good day.
So back to K, go to buildings here, and we have a little builder's lodge. The only villager we have left is Harold, so we're gonna add him as a laborer. And this means he's gonna help us build buildings from now on. You won't be alone in your buildings, and if you get another laborer, that will help. But if you also just want to do some other stuff while he's working on the building, you can. This will just be the fastest way to progress and get to the next stage of the quest. Now for this house, we're gonna need some items inside. I think we need to add a hearth. So we go back to building and probably furniture. Yeah, we have a little hearth here. 20 decor. I guess I'm just gonna place it like in the center of the house.
It seems we have a candidate for our fishery.
Oh,
Let us see if
finally.
she's skilled enough to catch my evening supper.
We can get a recruit to the village. This is exactly what we were talking about. Alice, she is a peasant, and all she requires is a tiny home, which we built. So we're gonna hire her, and we're gonna have to pay her a little bit, probably about 20 coins to let her in. You could try the 15, but I'm just gonna give her 20.
Alice has agreed to join our village, and you'll be happy to know she has reasonable demands for her employment.
In the fishery, we will add Alice, and Alice will get some fish for us. She will gather 2.5 fish per minute. I think I didn't assign her to the new house though. She'll be unhappy if she's not living in a house. So click this empty house and throw her in. One thing that is nice, eventually you're gonna have a lot of houses, house 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. You can edit house names, and that might be a little bit easier in terms of organizing where certain people live or knowing where specific people live. So I don't believe, do I still have my 1 fish? Yeah, I have my 1 fish, so we can add that into the storage. Now we certainly don't have fish yet, but we will over time. So into the market, we will add, or rather turn on fish, and I'll keep it to 10 now. Since we have both, I'll keep 10 of each. I doubt we'll ever completely run out, but still, something is bothering Fred. What is it, Fred? What has happened?
My lord, thank goodness you're here. I saw a strange man skulking around the woods. I think I've seen him before. We've had bandits stealing from us for months, sir, and we usually barricade ourselves in the house when they come. I would fight, but we have no weapons.
Leave it to us.
Alright, we will fight them then. A thief has been sighted near the village. You'll have these random thief events happen every once in a while. Yep, there he is. And combat is going to be something that gets completely reworked eventually. Combat is not, I'd say, the strongest system in the game, but other people in the village will help fight. Just know with right you can block, and then left click you can swing. So since we got Edward here, we can just knock him out.
Done, my lord, as always.
And we can also loot him. He's got some coins and a sword. Now your villagers can get knocked down by bandits if they lose the fight. I don't believe they die completely. I've had it happen where they fall, but then you can just walk up to them after fighting the bandits and then just pick them up. So next we gotta recruit Fernando and Ethel. So let's go to our recruits here. And here's one thing that's interesting. Fernando here, he's got some traits. He's got cheerful and romantic. So he has with romantic, this villager will give a morale boost to the villager of the opposite gender in their workplace or home. And he's also cheerful, so he has just an innate +10 morale bonus. So happiness wise, Fernando's great to have around, but we're gonna have him live with a lady. Now, I believe Alice is looking for I think now Alice has a slot available, so we'll move Fernando into her location. We also have Ethel here, and she requires a tiny meager house. Now, we don't have a house available for her at the moment, so we would have to build her another house, but we might just be able to upgrade a house. So I'll spend the coin and we'll invite her. Well, welcome aboard, Ethel.
These newcomers are a bit eccentric, but perhaps we can use that to our advantage. We should speak with them.
We will speak with them, but first let's get them in some houses. Starting with Fernando. He's gonna live with Alice. But we still have Ethel here that needs a place to live.
A good day, is it?
Now, she didn't have any specific traits, so it doesn't really matter where we add her. Let's see if we can upgrade a house so I can show off upgrading a little bit. Aha, here it is. If we want to make a building a tier 2, we need a table and 2 tier 2 structural parts. I don't think we can make tier 2 structural parts yet. So like I did before, all items, prefabs, housing. If you want to build your own custom houses, you can. But for me here, I'm just going to add the prefab houses down. And now I believe, yeah, Harold is gonna start building up the building. So while he's doing that, let's work on the old church. The church needs 6 pews as well as some more walls to it. So let's add these pews. Now we're gonna need a priest. It looks like the house was built, or at least enough that we could add somebody to it. So let's add Ethel into this house so she has a place to live, as well as probably a job. Yeah, Ethel and Fernando need a job. I thought I gave Fernando a job in the fishery. I guess not. I think I said wait, so let's add Fernando to fisher and let's add Ethel to foraging. Now we'll be getting as much wood as we need, we'll be getting as much fish as we need, and we'll be getting as much berries and mushrooms as we need, though I haven't seen them bring in any mushrooms. A second builder could be nice. I don't know if we're gonna have recruits come in. In fact, actually we do. Harold, a intelligent and lazy man, and Maximilian, who is actually our first artisan. This could be the guy that is gonna work at our church here. Intelligent, he's very smart, but he also starts work an hour late. I mean, we can work with that. Spend the 20 coins and hire Harold the tradesman, and we're just gonna throw him in the house with Ethel. And I think he can only work in the storehouse. So I'm gonna put him as a merchant working with Alma. But let's start with pews. Go to all items. Let's go to, would it be services? Yeah, services has pews here. And we're gonna add a couple pews. And you can add these however you want. And there's 6 pews. Now the church has a 58 out of 80 in terms of decoration score. The structural score is fine, but there are actually a lot of holes in here. So we may want to put some pieces in here and fix it up. So let's just add some walls. Another really cool tip that is really nice is if you look at an item and middle mouse click. So like, let's look at this piece of structure and you middle mouse click. You actually don't have to go into like crafting and find the piece and put it in there. You can just middle mouse click and use the piece. So we'll do that for the triangles. We will take this wall here and add that on. And I think we basically did that easy. Now that is structural score, that is not decoration score, so we still need some decorations in this building. So let's decide on some items to add into the church. We could keep adding more pews if you'd like to add more pews. Maybe we could add some bookshelves. These could be like where they keep the hymns books, even though I bet nobody in this game knows how to read. We could add like a bookshelf. I don't know if we have the resources for the books. No, we do. And then you just throw books in the bookshelf.
It's not much, but it is enough.
And it's the same with these items too. If you just middle mouse click, you can just pull out the bookshelf, throw the bookshelf down, And then with the books, you just middle mouse click and you pull them over. Right, now we got some books in the bookshelves. And we have a full structural score. And all we need to do is assign a priest to the church now. Edward, all you do is follow me around. Why don't you actually do some work, man? Come on. Get a job. But anyways, if we want to get Maximilian to the village, we need to build a large living space as well as a well-decorated home of a structure of 50, and it needs to have a dining table and a light. So let's build a custom house, how about we? Well, we might be able to build over these rocks in this corner. Let's try. We could even do it from here, see if it lets us. Yeah. Just to kind of show off the building for from the top-down mode. We'll add some walls here. I think even from this mode, you can grab the doors. So if you just like middle mouse the door, door's been added. You want to middle mouse the window. You can get a couple windows in this house. You see any empty walls, we can grab the walls. And we're just gonna do a basic 2x2 house. I think this will be enough space. We want to get some stairs right in the middle. And now we're gonna need a rooftop. Now we're gonna be using a different roof probably. Or you know what we could do? We could go over to the church. We go over to the church here. Grab the triangles. Flip them around. And then we just take the same rooftop that we used. And there we are. A 2x2 house. A very simple house. I think that's Harold building. I keep hearing the building sounds going on. I thought I was placing things. Oh, he's right there. He's working on the house as we're building it. So there's a bed. So hearth will go in the middle back right there. This house is probably way bigger than it needs to be. But you know what? That's fine. That's fine. We can always add more to it later. Maybe we'll give put a little library in his house. Let's turn snapping off for this one because the snapping isn't doing exactly what I wanted to do. It's Easter. Happy Easter, I suppose. Throw a light on the table, turn that on so we can see a little bit. Oh yeah, much better. We'll throw a little torch on the front of the door, maybe 2 of them. Add a fancy door. We could throw on a window, a crate, maybe next to the bed here. Stack a couple of crates on top and throw a candle on the side. So he has like a candle next to his bed. All right, so this is looking a lot better. It's still empty. We need some chairs here. We're gonna add a chair on this side. So he's got a table, he's got a bed, he's got his furnace. His house is relatively large. I feel like we could add a library, maybe some shelves, or maybe a wardrobe. We could add a wardrobe here for now. Wardrobes are what you can use if you would like to change your apparel. So if you want to change what you're wearing in game, you can just do this in the wardrobe. I'm not going to change anything because I like my fit. Let's double check and make sure he has everything that he needs. Yeah, he has everything that he needs. It's just the structural score is not completely there yet. So let's finish building this up since our laborer is probably doing something else right now. Maybe he's sleeping.
A warm meal and a roof over my head. It's not much, but it is.
And there's the house. So how's that? All right, he likes this. It has a good structural score. It's got a dining table. It's got a light source. And it's well decorated. So now Maximilian will join us. It is going to cost a little bit more, but as you can see, we have almost, maybe a little over actually, double the amount of money we made. Maximilian's going to be a bit more expensive in terms of hiring, but like I said, we got good coin. So let's invite Maximilian in here. Let's find our new house, house 6. We can name this like, I don't know, big house. This is going to be Max's house. So now we know this is one of the bigger houses in case another villager needs to live in a big one. And we'll throw Max in here. And since we have the church complete, we can also assign Max as an acolyte. But now that that's complete, We just have to wait for newcomers to come and visit the church. And over time, people will come and visit. They'll sit down, they'll pay alms. In fact, actually, I don't know if we have a tithe box. Is it something we can build right now in the tutorial here? Oh yeah, it's right here. We don't have it unlocked at the moment, so we can't do anything about that. Which means while they're waiting, this might be a good time to start with a research desk so I can show off researching and the ability to unlock more items. So let's build a research building while people start visiting the church. It doesn't need to be big, but if we want to have it upgrade in the future, maybe we want a 2x2 at the very least. Get some walls. Add a door. And we'll add just a basic gable. Get the triangles and the gaps. And then the thing that will make this a library, if you go into services, will be the research desk. So research desk is just gonna go down right here. We've had a visitor come to the church. Let's check on that while we're having our builder work on the library here. A second visitor, I think these were the 2 visitors. There aren't a whole lot of lights in this building, so maybe I'll add some lights. Maybe a candelabra in the back. Candelabra above. I think a torch or a light next to the bookshelf would make sense. In case we need to find specific books. This place is still rather empty. We could add more pews and such, but I think for now this is fine as is. It's literally spring, so it's not time for a decorative jack-o'-lantern, but you know what? We have one now. What are you gonna do about it? I see more visitors coming to the church. Looks like 2 visitors, 4 visitors. Look at all these people going to the church. Who's Percival? Welcome, welcome everybody. Now they just need to pay that alm tax, but we don't have that building yet, or that piece yet.
Excellent. With the temple restored, we should expect to see many more visitors passing through Greenwood.
Most impressive, my liege. Perhaps now we can move on from this town towards civilization. Greenwood is nice, but I prefer someplace less provincial.
And we've completed the tutorial scenario. You may continue to work on your village or return to the main menu and try out the sandbox mode. So once you have all this done, you're understanding the basic gameplay loop of Noble Legacy, at least thus far. There's still a couple things we can do. You probably noticed while looking in your items here that there's a couple things that are locked. Like you have brick foundations, you have stone foundations, lots of building pieces, but even like ore, farming, anvils, furnaces, there's a handful of stuff that you may still need to unlock here. And the way you unlock all these is through the library here. So I didn't put any stairs on this building, so I'll do that really quick. And maybe I'll get some light so we can see here, or open the windows. Let the light in. And now we have a research desk. So if you go to this tab where you go to the research desk, this is going to be how you research new things. For example, the tithe box, or candles, confessional, kitchenette. Some of these things are not out yet, like the theater and the brothel. These will be coming out in future updates. We'll see them probably pretty soon in the next year or so. But we can get the bar and the cook pot. We can unlock foraging and ores, or furnace and ores. We can also get plots and tools. I would say the things that you'd probably want to get are furnace and ores, because this is how you're going to unlock brick and iron. And then once you start building these items, this will be what allows you to build like the tier 2 and the tier 3 buildings. So if we want somebody to research this, we're going to need to have a researcher. So let's see if we can recruit anybody. Now that we're in basically build mode, or free building mode, we're going to have people coming to the village every 5 minutes, at least out of game. Every 5 minutes, it'll refresh new villagers.
How's it going?
So we actually have Eleanor and Greta. Now we want somebody who is a scholar. And I don't believe Greta can work as a scholar. Yeah, only Eleanor can work as a scholar. But she needs a tavern with a decoration score of 20, so we can't really get her in here. We do have some money coming in now. Let's pull out one of our villagers from the storehouse. Like Alma, for example. We take Alma out of here. Harold will be selling things, so that'll be fine. We're doing fine on coin at the moment, so no worries if we're missing out on that. But for our library here, let's add Alma as the scholar, and she will start researching the furnace and ores. Now you can sit here and research along with her, but it will take a while. If you have any questions or concerns, be sure to leave a comment in the video. Also, don't forget to pay that king's tax of 1 like or 1 sub, and also leave a link to a playlist of our current streams that we've done for this game, as well as some future streams we're gonna do. They will all be going into this playlist. So if you want to see some more Noble Legacy, whether it's prior to this update or further in this update, make sure to check out this playlist right here. But I hope this has given you a good idea on how you can start in Noble Legacy. But until next time, y'all, thanks for watching and take care.